The SEC time and time again fails to take responsibility for some of their actions. Or rather, I'd say for all of their actions, they fail to take responsibility. And I think it's for that reason that right now, congressmen are stepping up to smack him into the face, smack him down. Take a look at this. U.S. Congressman Richie Torres asked the SEC Chair Gensler to stop his assault on crypto, saying cryptocurrencies are not securities. But it actually goes a little bit farther, because even though this crucial crypto bill was just posted, and we have to talk about exactly what it contains, isn't it interesting that whenever Chair Gensler is asked questions, he always decides to do one or two things. One is try to stall, or second of all, he tries to ignore. Just work your magic games around it. One of the only times where he stated something, rather obvious was that it was disappointed in what happened in the XRP case. I just found that funny. But at the end of the day, the only reason he's probably disappointed is because they wanted to keep it vague, and all of a sudden a decision was made, which was against their plan. Now guys, before I move on, make sure you press that like button. I want to see this video at 1,500 likes within a couple of hours. Let's see if we can do that. If so, I'm gonna break my table. I am not going to break my table. I'm not sure why I said that. Now, before I show you guys exactly what the bill looked like, and I show you guys a video that's just beautiful. It shows the SEC stance onto everything time and time again. I should say, today was Gary Gensler's speech, the review of the fiscal year 2024 budget for U.S. Securities Exchange Commission, with, of course, Chair Gensler speaking. And even though he's been given interviews over the last couple of days, I think it's just interesting how usually he always dodges stuff, but how might be changing. Nothing is changing, guys. He's always the same. They're always the same. The SEC has just been instructed to always make things as vague as possible. But take a look. Metalowman posted, has anyone else noticed that the attacks on Judge Torres and her Ripple decision have actually been pretty tame, all things considered? No mean tweets from Senator Warren, no apparent mobilization of the anti-crypto army, no scathing editorial in the New York Times. This makes sense because, first of all, the judge is smart and has credentials. Harvard undergrad, Columbia Law. She served as a Democrat-appointed New York State court judge for years. Both her father and grandfather were judges and served in the New York State Assembly. And importantly, the judge was appointed by federal bench by President Barack Obama. This has all helped to lower the temperature around this important ruling. Nobody believes the judge is out to help crypto bros. No, it's only Charles Gasparino who said the judge is an idiot. She just applied the law without fear or favor. Well done. That's because it's up to the judge, right? If we're up to the SEC, it's a 4-minute clip, but it's crucial to watch. And right after, I'm going to show you guys exactly the new crypto bill that's been put up because of the Ripple lawsuit. And again, from every field, they're all saying the Ripple case has made a huge impact on politics of the bills, and just things are changing so much because of the Ripple case. But let's quickly watch this video because it's crucial in showcasing the SEC's approach to things. They can never answer things properly. They always go around the bush. Take a look.
Mr. Girding, are you aware that proxy firms do not undertake any independent legal analysis of shareholder proposals and instead refer that judgment of your staff as to whether a proposal violates federal rules or federal laws or state laws?
Congressman, my division does not take positions on underlying shareholder proposals.
That's not my question. Are you aware of that the proxy advisors do not do independent analysis and they rely on your analysis, assuming, as they said, that if you, the SEC, allows a proxy or a vote to go forward, a proposal to go forward, then it must meet legal criteria. Are you aware of that?
I'm not familiar with the testimony that you're mentioning. I'd have to read.
We'll print it off. It's public, but we'll print it off and send it to you. So you need to get yourself understanding this. You earlier just told my friend from Massachusetts that you look at material information for investors. So is not knowing whether a proposal would violate state or federal law material to an investor?
Congressman, I think you're referring to our shareholder proposal review process.
No, I'm referring to the analysis, the fact that the SEC does no analysis as to whether a proposal violates state law if it was adopted or violates federal law if it was adopted. Are you aware of that? Yes or no?
Congressman, as we review shareholder proposals, we review...
Okay, how much clearer can I...
Sorry, I had to save you for a second because I know it's hard to watch. It really is. And I've watched this multiple times, right? So you can understand in what type of pain I'm in. But this actually feels a lot like the time Gary Gensler was in front of Congress, which is why every single time he starts to speak somewhere, I expect nothing. Even today, again, he's speaking, Senate Appropriations Committee, I expect nothing because whenever he's asked a hard question, even like it was just a couple of days ago, he'll state, and you can watch this in the video, even though this was about Satoshi Nakamoto, and he refers to Satoshi, the maker of Bitcoin, as a she, which was quite interesting. You know, that's the only moment where he opened up, kinda. When it was with regards to Ripple and then Coinbase afterwards, he basically, again, had nothing to say. Only thing he said, it was disappointed, but for the rest, every single question he always likes to dodge. And for some reason, that's just the way that the SEC likes to operate.
Can I be yes or no? You do understand that, or you don't? This is all new information for you.
Congressman, we apply the Rule 14A8 and the grounds for exclusion.
All right. Does the SEC analyze whether a proposal would violate state and federal law? Yes or no?
Congressman, I mean, I can refer you to the 14A8 grounds for exclusion as we do our informal.
That is not my question.
Do all grounds include legality?
One of the grounds would require the commission to look at a number of factors, including that one.
Can you say, so yes, you do look at legality?
Again, Congressman, we apply
This is a real, without being difficult here, this should be a really simple question. You either yes, you look at legality, or no, you don't look at legality. Do you look at legality?
We look at all grounds.
I get all grounds. Do all grounds include legality?
Congressman, I'm happy to refer to you to 14A8.
No, don't refer me to anything. Do you look at legality? I got you here in front of me today. Do you look at legality?
Congressman, we don't offer opinions on the legality of individual...
So no, you don't. So here's the problem. If no is your answer, here's the problem. We had in last week ISS and Glass Lewis, the duopoly that dominates proxy advisor advice. And I asked ISS and Glass Lewis, do you look at legality? And they said no. On the record, no. Why? Because they said the SEC does. And now what we're hearing from you is after trying to delay answering the question, no, you don't look at legality. So here's the problem. We have the SEC coming forward and allowing a whole host of ESG-related reforms. We look at companies like Travelers who pointed out to the SEC that if they had their shareholder proposal move forward, it would be illegal. Why? Because it would have required Travelers to adjust pricing based on race. They pointed out to you, the SEC, that it would have been illegal for them to do that. You didn't care, not you personally. The SEC didn't care. The SEC allows it to go forward. The proxy advisors rec in favor, and the proxy advisors point to SEC, saying that they don't do the review of whether or not it's legal. That's the job for the SEC. You're now telling us that you don't review whether or not an action is legal. And so what we have is a complete lack of accountability.
I would definitely call out the exact same, but also we see again the SEC blame game of no, they're not in the business of creating rules for crypto. That's up to Congress. But then whenever they sit down to actually discuss things or help out, then it's like, well, no, it's already really clear. If you guys understand my drift here, there's actually multiple sides to that. So the SEC is suing as if they have the authority to talk about everything, say what's the right thing, etc. And they urge other companies and people to come on in to, talk about the rules or, make sure they let them know if something's not clear. People have done that, but every single time they refer back to, Congress or whatever, saying, oh, there must be a blame there, but it's all clear. It's just always, shifting the blame. Whenever they're at fault, it's somebody else's fault. But then when it comes to somebody else also then taking responsibility, no, they want to take it. They want to take that honor and they want to go at it. So they want to have their cake and eat it too. It's just absolutely ridiculous. And this showcases it, which is, I think, also why I love this so much. Jeremy says, love or hate the Ripple decision, it's absolutely demolished Chair Gensler's position that no crypto legislation is necessary because it's already clear. They can't say it anymore. And Ron Hammond is coming in to say the same thing, right? The Ripple case made a huge impact on the politics of the bills this week in Congress and crypto. As of right now, the stablecoin and market structure bills are slated for a vote in the House committees next week. A lot back and forth behind the scenes, but the Ripple case has made a huge impact on the politics of the bills. Here's why. Well, off the bat, the SEC has put senior Ds in Congress in a weaker negotiating position. While the case wasn't a full win for Ripple, it has significantly weakened the SEC's arguments that legislation wasn't needed and the SEC never lost a crypto case in the courts. Dee's position on legislation wasn't always a no. In fact, during my time on the Hill in 2018, Senior Dee's Rep. Maxine Waters and Sherrod Brown met with Warren Davidson and me to discuss legislation to regulate crypto, and they said it was something they agreed needed to be done. That position on legislation flipped in 2022, and it was largely the SEC that drove it. It is common for Congress to rely on regulators, but as we've just seen in the video, the regulators just refer to somebody else to take the blame, especially when they are on the same party, as they are subject matters experts. When Gensler pivoted from his 2021 position on legislation, so did the Dees. This is why the market structure legislation seems largely R-led, right? We're talking Republican, Democrat. However, the Ripple case changes this. Some hate the outcome, others praise it, regardless of one's takeaway. There is a common theme of confusion after the fact, and legislation is the only clarifying force. Unlike the stablecoin bill, there's no R version and D version. There's just one draft from Patrick McHenry and Congressman GT, which is Glenn Thompson. And Dees didn't think this legislation was needed after being told by the SEC. Now there are clear regulatory gaps, though, but R's need Dees if they want this done. R's and D's is annoying to say like this, but okay. This is when the politics come into play. The bill seems like it will be getting a vote in the committees next week. The first step of many in getting a bill to the president's desk. Some D's, largely youngers, have expressed interest in the legislation, but not all. We are starting to see engagement from consumer groups defending the SEC's position that legislation is unnecessary. Recall the SEC's position differs from other Biden regulators such as the Treasury and CFTC. So interesting, they chose the SEC's side. Now, it is also interesting to note that defending the regulation by enforcement approach is odd. Considering 2022 wasn't a good year for crypto consumers, the Hill understood that the timing of Binance, a bad actor, and Coinbase being so close to each other as politically motivated. To be clear, between the House Agriculture and Financial Services Committees, there seems to be several Ds who are looking to support legislation. Politics will determine if it's both bills or just stablecoins. Market structure is unique, as it is the only House effort on that topic. It is political, though, to buck your own party leadership in Congress, which is why Rep. Waters is a key force. However, it does not rely on her, and we've seen bills where many members go against leadership to support a common sense bill. The best example of this is safe banking. Whatever. There's still a lot of influx to stay tuned for updates in the coming days, regardless of your view on crypto. Democrat Wiley Nickel said it best: whether you love or hate crypto, you should support market structure legislation. Inaction is not an option. But like Christian says here, this week in Congress, the same old stuff, nothing ever gets done because they just speak. And for that reason, I hope that what we just already talked about partially, the Torres bill. If you guys know the Ripple case, the judge that was deciding everything was called Analisa Torres, right? Well, we also actually have ourselves a congressman whose name is Richie Torres. And he basically says, hey, we've gotten some new thoughts declaring all crypto assets except for Bitcoin by the SEC, their attempt, rejected. So basically the SEC tried to get every crypto messed up. It got rejected because all the investment contract rules have been sloppily applied by the SEC. Instead, the latest court's decision established a clear rule that should bear the name of Judge Torres, who has brought long overdue legal clarity to the chaos of crypto regulations. The Torres doctrine, as I call it, holds that crypto assets are not securities in themselves, but can be sold as part of an investment contract, which do qualify as securities under Howey. Judge made it crystal clear to the SEC that digital assets are not securities in the abstract and that it lacks the legal authority to regulate digital assets untethered from an actual security offering. And then he goes on about even though the SEC can appeal, they probably won't because it's such a small chance. And again, the SEC has gone for a regulation by enforcement type of approach, which is never nice. It seems to be an endless stream of contradiction and confusion, as well as the arbitrariness of the enforcement actions themselves. It's just the opposite of fair notice, which also the judge knows about and argues. The point here being, guys, things are on the verge of changing because there's almost no way around it anymore. One thing I'll quickly say is if you're into trading, check out these two things. One is BitGet. It's a trading website I sometimes use, and the long story short is you can get yourself a juicy little spin wheel type of, cool lucky prizes thing. if you do whatever actions it says right here. I'll put the link down below. And on Bybit, if that's an exchange you prefer, which I personally like, you can actually get yourself an $1,125 XRP trade for absolutely free. So just check it out with the link down below as well. And what I find interesting, I've said this before, but I'll say it again, is how things are so skewed from many factors. I mean, it's all the discussion about Ripple, and Ripple brought everything up. Isn't it so interesting that this discussion has been going on for so many years, and when it regarded Ethereum, and even now at this moment, a lot of these laws that are discussed with regards to crypto, for example, the fact that XRP was sold as an investment contract by Ripple to companies, why are no maximalists of Bitcoin or whatever pointing out that Ethereum follows the same rules? Why is it always against XRP? Why? Why are people not extrapolating this further? Why are they not being fair? That's why I keep saying I think XRP's manipulation is just so large, but from another perspective, things are changing, right? Even though you might say, well, it's the same old story, time in, time out, where they talk about regulation but never get it done. I think right now, guys, we're getting closer and closer to these final dates where things just have to happen. New bills get drafted time and time again, I know. But right now, because of this Ripple verdict, I don't think we can get around it too much longer. Then again, understand that right now, the only crypto with proper legal clarity is XRP. I want you guys to realize that for a second. For that reason, guys, I keep on buying every motherfreaking day. I mean, seriously, take a look at what John Dean just said. The SEC is a broken institution, and that's not an opinion. That's a fact, not debatable at this point. A regulator who refuses to provide any real guidance, not only to market participants, but also appellate courts, all because it wants to maintain an opaque and vague regulatory environment. Allowing it to prosecute anything or anyone in the future is an agency that needs to be overhauled. Let's not forget, the Office of the General Counsel also advised Hinman that he shouldn't declare ETH a non-security, not because it was a security or because it was unfair to pick winners, but because it might limit the SEC's ability to go after ETH in the future. That kind of attitude is an absolute disgrace. That's after Bank Reg Blog posted, after a couple of requests for an extension in giving its opinion on whether syndicated loans are securities, today the SEC says it can't tell the court what its opinion is. Sorry. So this was after the video I just showed you guys of them right here. I think this video right here. What we just saw, the whole confusion, right? Well, they just responded saying that they can't tell. Oh, my days. Yeah, it's a scam, all right. I'm not so sure how nobody's dealing with this. I mean, we've seen now time and time again as well that they say, oh, an investigation into the SEC is coming. It's coming. But think of that, the Weeknd song, like, I feel it coming. Well, you can feel it coming, but it's not really coming. You know what I mean? It's like when you have to take a massive shit. Anyway, guys, if you've not done yet, make sure you put on that notification bell for in case something crazy happens in the lawsuit or something else. You want to be notified, like I always said. And I'll get you guys again on the Glimpse side, probably later today with another crypto update, depending on what's going on in the crypto space. I'm, of course, taking a look at everything. But yeah, that's about it. Times are crazy, but